I'm Jordan Jansen.
And I'm Paul Lutz. Welcome to Lil Iddle News.
I thought we agreed that we weren't going to use that name, Paul.
Jordan, I'm bringing this program to the next level. In this fast-paced world of the internet, texting, and electronic parking meters, no one has the time to say Little Italy News. Soon people will just be saying Lynn.
Lynn.
Little Italy News.
Be professional, Paul.
No, you be professional.
In a recent study, our first story tonight, we have found that UIC students are completely ignorant of Little Italy News.
This shocking report will show just how closed off UIC students are to their surroundings.
So my typical day, I'll wake up and I work in the morning, so I'll get ready and then I'll hop a bus over to West Campus and then run to work because it's like right across from the cafeteria. And I'll check my Facebook and pretend I'm making copies and doing things like that. And then I'll head back and I'll go to classes, and most of my classes end at 2 or 4. And so after classes, I'll pretty much do whatever, homework, chill, talk to people. And my classes are, classes. That's not the point of going to college. At UIC, you can decide whether or not you want to go to classes, so it's really easy not to go to classes. There is a very big party scene here, I'd say. There's a lot of drinking. There's like 50 and a half frat kids. Like at night, whenever we go out, there's a gay bar down the street that we'll go dancing on every Thursday. Joy's is the place to go if you want really bad Chinese food late at night or bubble tea. And the White Palace Grill is where you go when you don't want to remember what you ate the next day. What I like best about UIC is that it's right pretty much in the middle of Chicago. Like, we're 5 minutes away from anything that you could possibly want, and if you need something to do, you can just step outside and there's always something to do. I think a lot of people here tend to stay on campus. They don't really go very far. You can pretty much survive on campus, like you never really need to leave it. So apparently UIC is in the middle of Little Italy. I didn't really know this because I've never really been to Little Italy. I've heard about it. I think I know where it is. I think the closest to like real Italian food we've gotten, my roommate and I went to this cute little olive store down in Chicago, like downtown, and we got olive oil and vinegar and cheese, and we'll go up to the lounge and bake some bread, and we'll like dip it in oil and vinegar, and it'll be really good. Are we encroaching on Little Italy territory?
Well, Paul, it looks like college hasn't changed too much.
There seems to be less all-night raves than when I was in school. Those got real crazy. One night I woke up face down in a field in the middle of Utah with absolutely no idea how I got there.
All right, I think we get the picture.
I went to college in Florida, Jordan. I don't even know how to get to Utah.
Yes, that sounds pretty wacky.
That's what my program calls bottoming out.
All right, well, we should,
It was by far the darkest period of my entire life. Hey folks, welcome back.
You know one thing people just love about Italian culture, Paul?
The Leaning Tower of Pisa. Why is it so crooked? Would it in fact fall if someone leans against it? Nobody knows, Jordan. That's half the fun.
Yes, but what people really love is the food.
Not really as interesting as the mystery of the Leaning Tower, Jordan, but okay.
Well, we sent our very own Brooke Kozlowski out onto the streets of Little Italy to find out where exactly the locals get their Italian eats.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Little Italy News. My name's Brooke Kozlowski and here I am in the most beautiful city of Chicago. I'm about to depart on the search for the most authentic plate of spaghetti and meatballs Little Italy has to offer. Come along with me and we'll see what we can find. Here we are in the authentic village of Little Italy. Let's take a look around and see exactly how authentic it is. Where the heck are all the Italians? You have like a menu? Thank you. Does he have like spaghetti at all? No spaghetti. I wanted to go find some spaghetti. Where would I go? Okay, so I probably won't find any Italian cuisine around here at all.
Oh, that's not, maybe not.
What neighborhood exactly are we in?
I think, well, this is kind of University Village now.
We're in the South Loop / UIC area.
Have you heard anything about Little Italy? Are we in Little Italy right now?
I would say not so much.
No, that's actually probably off of Taylor Street.
The soft noodle, right?
Is that kind of?
Yeah, looks like spaghetti noodle.
Okay, so it looks like spaghetti noodles. Well, it doesn't taste like it though. It doesn't taste like spaghetti. Here's a Little Italy resident now. Let's go see what she has to say. Excuse me, ma'am. Do you know where I can find any authentic Italian cuisine? Exactly. I didn't think so.
Since when have you not been able to get spaghetti at Chinese restaurants? I mean, what's the world coming to when...
I think it's always been that way, Paul.
No, I remember the days when you could walk right into an authentic Chinese restaurant and order some pasta. You know, the ones with indoor vines on lattice, bottles of wine, and...
You're thinking of an Italian restaurant.
No, you know, those real Chinese restaurants with big wax candles on the table and those red, white, and green flags hanging on the walls.
Yep, that's an Italian restaurant.
You say tomato, I say Chinese restaurant, Jordan.
Anyways, Paul, do you know how Little Italy really started?
God?
Not quite. A big factor that helped make Little Italy the cultural center it once was is the Hull House. We were lucky enough to pick the brain of one local educator at the Hull House Museum. Let's take a look.
Founded by Jane Addams and Ellen Gates Starr, Jane Addams' Hull House was the nation's largest settlement house. Its main purpose was to provide social and educational opportunities for working-class people in Chicago, many of whom were recent European immigrants.
1889, they start the Hull House. The question then becomes, okay, we've started this place, what do we now do with it? Who uses it? And the first people to use it were actually kind of curious neighborhood children. Ultimately, what it boils down to is like education. The Hull House was here to help to educate the people of the surrounding neighborhood, large majority of which were Italians. So you had Ellen Gates Starr with the context, Jane Addams with the money, come together. They're able to make this kind of dream a reality. They were able to do it themselves, which I think in a lot of ways influenced how the Hull House was run. In '61, the site of like Harrison and Halstead was proposed as a possible site of the University of Illinois at Chicago, and ultimately was accepted, and it was fought by like neighborhood residents and whatnot, but ultimately it was decided that like, yeah, the city could do that. And so in '63, that's when kind of the deal went down, and the neighborhood was kind of totally changed. So that's kind of how it came to be. The Hull House, the university did agree to like save 2 buildings, and that's what the museum is. When it was rebuilt, I think because it was being rebuilt as a university, so I don't think the focus for them, it wasn't to like, oh, let's rebuild this and make it look like it used to look. I think the idea was, let's get rid of this. This place is like, you know, this isn't what we want this section of the city to be like. That area at one time was Little Italy, but it's not really. It's not really anymore. Like all the Italians that were there were displaced.
That Jane Addams sure was a swell gal.
Sure she was. You know, it's amazing how what only a few people can create that can really end up helping a community.
It is, just like Big Dog the Bounty Hunter and his crew, cleaning up the streets one dirtbag at a time. With those big, bulging muscles and that breathtaking mullet. He's kind of a modern-day Jane Addams if you really think about it.
Right. So, Paul, have you ever wished that there was somewhere where all the Italian athletes in America could be honored in one place?
Oh, God, no. That sounds absolutely awful.
Well, Paul, a lot of people think it would be just a wonderful idea. And that's what the people over at the National Italian American Sports Hall of Fame did. We have an exclusive report.
While searching Little Italy for, well, something Italian, I discovered the Italian Sports Hall of Fame. I figured it was safe to assume that it was Italian. The purpose of the hall is to preserve Italian Americans in sports.
It's really to hold those memories. And you can see in the hall, you know, we have all this memorabilia here, and when people come in, it's kind of nostalgic for them because they can look back at maybe an old game they watched with their parents, or a game they've gone to with their father. They've seen like Joe DiMaggio play, and it just brings back memories, and it keeps the memories of these players around.
The hall was founded by George Randazzo in 1977. The hall didn't start off featuring all Italian American sports. When it opened in 1977, it featured only Italian American boxers. Over time, the popularity of the hall grew, and Randazzo was encouraged to expand the hall to include all Italian Americans in sports.
The people that come in here to visit the museum, we have anyone from the athletes themselves. Tommy Lasorda is here every time he's in Chicago. We get people who are very proud of their Italian heritage to come in, but it's really nice because it doesn't matter if you're Italian. There's two sides to it. If you're a sports fan, you are a sports fan, and you have memories of these guys and girls in here, and you want to come in and relive it. That's what continues to bring people back.
Since Little Italy is changing all the time, and it seems like it's becoming less and less Italian, some wonder if this is still the proper home for the museum.
I think it's still here. Well, I think it needs to be here. If you take it away, I mean, what do you really have left of Little Italy? You only have a name. We're a staple in the community now. I just don't ever see us leaving.
Well, what do you know? Italians can play sports.
Of course, why wouldn't they?
I just always figured their big mustaches and chef hats would get in the way. Plus, they have to make all those SpaghettiOs. I mean, there are a lot of SpaghettiOs out there, Jordan.
That's Chef Boyardee. All Italians are not Chef Boyardee. And you know what? I think it's offensive that you would even imagine that all Italians are Chef Boyardee.
Calm down, Jordan. It's an honest mistake.
No, it's not an honest mistake. It's an idiot's mistake. You are an idiot. I don't know how you got this job in the first place. I mean, I went to Yale for 4 years and then got my graduate degree at Harvard Law. And look what I'm reduced to dealing with. When I think of all the times that you have...
Okay, let's get to the next story.
No, no. You know what? I am done with this. I am done.
Now we're going to, line? Anyone?
Little Italy is constantly changing. Most people don't even call it Little Italy anymore. It's University Village or around UIC. So, if the name is a lie, who lives here? UIC seemed like a good place to start, since they literally torn down the Italian influence.
It's been a lot of college students everywhere. You always hear loud music next door to you, wherever you go.
I mean, if you're a college kid looking to be in the city, going to UIC, I mean, it's a great area.
With UIC building dorms since the 80s, the student population has exploded. But they can't quite claim the neighborhood to reenact Animal House. The neighborhood is full of many young professionals. You know the type. People that actually make money, or well, at least used to.
There's a park right over here, and you meet a lot of people in the neighborhood from that, and there are a lot of working professionals around here also. It's really close to the West Loop, so there seems to be a lot of, you know, people in their 30s.
But the yuppies haven't quite gotten all the neighborhood yet, because you can walk 3 blocks away from these $500,000 homes, and there's plenty of subsidized housing. A good chunk of the people stayed in the area, but many of them did move out to the suburbs.
Something better. I don't know if you know that. Numbers like way back in the days, the Italian stores and stuff. Yeah, you know, 16 stores used to be over here. Have a lot of grocery stores, consumer.
Little Italy is like a 13-year-old child going through a phase. It doesn't know who it belongs to or what it wants to be yet, but it'll keep changing and surprise you.
Well, we're back. Jordan still isn't back. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do now. Jordan is usually in charge of that. Can we just go to another commercial break? 30 seconds? Well, what do you expect me to talk about until then? News? Like what, the balloon boy? Is he Italian? No? 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, and we'll be right back with a very special guest from Tailor Made Pizza right after these messages. Hey, we're back, both of us.
Yes, due to certain contractual obligations, it turns out that I'm not actually allowed to quit during the middle of a show. So here we are with Alfonso DeVivo.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
So, Alfonso, what exactly does pizza mean to you?
How long have you had Tailor Made Pizza?
We just celebrated our 3-year anniversary on December 3rd.
Nice, and where exactly are you located?
1220 West Taylor Street.
Perfect, perfect. So what are you gonna make for us today?
Thin crust pizza with green pepper, mushroom, and pepperoni.
Nice.
Delicious.
So
what are you doing right now?
I'm just kneading the dough, stretching it out, getting it ready.
Nice, nice. So,
and then,
go ahead.
And when it's finished, it will look like this.
Okay, I see.
Okay.
All right. So, and then these are your toppings, right?
Yes.
And what are you putting on here?
This is the pizza sauce.
Oh, okay.
It's our own recipe.
Oh, nice. Family secret or?
Family secret.
Nice.
But we'd have to kill you.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
Nobody knows.
Wow.
Okay.
How is such a round shape obtained when spreading the dough?
What's the cheese you're going to be putting on here?
We're going to be putting mozzarella cheese on it.
Okay.
And it's we use Sargento cheese. It's a more expensive cheese, but you can really tell with the taste of it, the quality of it.
Nice, nice. And so you guys are located close to the university, right? So
yes.
Do you have a lot of students come in for pizza?
Yeah, UIC is a big student base for us.
Nice.
Big customer base for us.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Jasmine's putting the cheese on.
Nice.
And then Katie's gonna add the toppings right now.
Now, what topping are you adding here?
We got some green pepper. And sometimes we use the green pepper also in our Italian beefs. It's really good.
So they have Italian beefs.
And now we have some mushrooms.
Cool. I'm sure they don't have spaghetti, Paul.
Yeah.
We actually do have spaghetti.
Oh, they do have spaghetti.
We're an Italian restaurant.
They're an Italian restaurant, Paul, not Chinese
Sometimes we get chopsticks when we order out.
Very nice.
You're not helping.
Sorry, Ben.
It's all right. Well, and then what's this?
A dash of oregano.
Oh, okay.
And it's all ready for the oven.
Nice.
500 for 15 minutes.
Okay. And then it comes out.
And out comes that.
Wow. Looks delicious, Paul.
It does.
You can't have any, Paul.
Okay.
Good. Well. Oh, would you guys like to cut it? Shucks, is there any particular way that you cut it? Because I know that certain pizza places sometimes
I
you
actually
get
have to take it out of the tin.
Okay.
We do pie cut.
Oh, okay. See, I'm a big fan of the pie cut. Oh, looks delicious.
Great.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. I'm Jordan Jansen.
And I'm Paul Lutz.
And I'm looking for a different job.
See you next time.
God, I hope not.